What's up guys, my name is Andy. I got a lift. I finally got a lift for my shop that I want to put in here, and it's here on the trailer, and I gotta get it unloaded. I don't have a forklift here, so I'm gonna have to just do it piece by piece and take it all apart and get it out of here. In fact, for those that have been following my channel, you're probably wondering where the Mustang is that normally sits right here, and that's okay. I got it safely in the garage. It's stored over there, kind of out of the way, and so it'll be protected while I'm getting the lift off of the trailer and getting it installed and getting it set up. So anyways, so what I got to do first is, again, I got to take everything apart on here and get everything out. What I got is just a 9,000 pound 2-post lift that I'm going to put in here, and you can see I've got those cardboard cutouts that are supposed to be the same size as the footprint of the legs here, of the towers for the lift. So kind of get an idea of where I want to put this and get it. I want it on the one side of the garage, of the shop here, and then towards the back. And I have it angled just a little bit instead of being, you know, in line with the garage, just because as I pull into the garage here, I want to be able to kind of pull in and get on there instead of having to come into the garage and kind of go over to the side and then I'll line up. So I think that's going to be the best spot for it. I really wish that I was able to keep it on this half of the shop. The shop, for those that have seen this, this is a new shop. I just got done building this. It's 24 wide by 40 deep. But you know, with these 2x6 walls, you essentially lose a foot, right, of the width. So we'll call it 23 feet here on the inside. So that means I got 11.5 feet from the middle of the garage of the shop here to the wall, and the footprint from outside to outside of this lift is 135 inches. So we've got, what, 4.5 inches to spare or whatever between the wall and I can't put it on that one side. So anyways, not a big deal. I got to get this thing set up. So let's go ahead and try to get this guy off of here, see if I can do it by myself. I have no business doing this. Well, I can't even, I'm gonna try to use my engine hoist to pick this up. I don't know if I can get a little closer by, there. It'll be heavy on that end. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. Okay, so I got everything unloaded. If you take the parts out from inside the towers, it's a lot easier to lift these things up when they're not full of stuff, like the arms and stuff like that was in there. these crossbars to go across the top. If you take that out, they're a lot lighter and easier to manipulate, and then you don't drop anything. So I figured that out with the second one. I still need to stand these up. Actually, I got to bolt this top piece on and then stand it up, and I should have done it with that one. So I'm going to lay it down here and bolt that piece on top, but I can get that. And then I noticed that it didn't seem that there was instructions included with this. I had to print them out, which I'm not wild about that considering how much this costs. You'd think they'd throw in a couple pieces of paper, but here's the actual drive unit, or the hydraulic unit. So that guy's in there. And then this is the box of hardware. And we got bumpers that go, these guys go on down here so that you don't smack your door or whatever on the columns. So we got those. Here's the anchors that go for the base plates. You do need a 3/4 inch drill bit, one of those SDS built bits for like concrete, stuff like that. I've got a drill for that and everything. I'm covered there, but just a heads up. You guys probably aren't watching this for a how-to on how to put this together, but it is cool that they include those so you don't have to buy that. Here's more of the installation hardware. They do say to keep the bolts that were mounting the towers and stuff to that steel piece that was holding them together. So hold on to those bolts. So it says we're gonna need those. Here's the pucks for the arms of that go on the columns there, and then we've got pins, hydraulic fittings. This is a safety switch. Maybe this is the activation switch. And then here's some more puck pieces that go on the arms down here. Hydraulic lines, cable. So you've got everything you need except for the tools. They tell you in the instructions what tools you need. So, but if you're attempting this, you're probably already aware of that stuff and you probably already have the tools. I'm finding that with this setup, it's a little more complicated than I'd like it to be. And I really don't want to tackle this thing by myself. So I'm going to get some help in here and make sure I'm not missing some, mostly because, well, this is heavy and complicated and I will need some help installing that crossbar that goes up there. I just don't want to miss anything. I really don't want to try to install it and then find out that I had a part miss, I gotta take it back apart, or because everything is, safety related, I want to make sure I got some other eyes on the instructions. With mounting these on the floor, I think I measured it wrong. I think I measured 135 and it's supposed to be 134 1/4. So I have to double check that. I may have to move a piece in, but other than that, from here, I think it's just kind of put everything together and stand it up and get it going and just work way through the instructions and see how we come out. Again, it's not difficult, but it's complicated, if that makes sense. There is a lot of parts, and oh yeah, that's where I was wondering where those pins went. They probably go here on this guy. I was wondering about that. Just thinking in my head, but cool. Oh, another thing I do like about this, and that probably don't care, but these locking jaws, when this raises up, I'm not gonna be able to lift that up. See how they kind of go down? That one. And then when this goes down to the ground, see how that comes up? So what's cool is this will lock in on these pieces here. So these arms won't spin on you when it's up in the air, and then when it comes down to the ground, then you can pivot those. So I like that kind of feature. Again, I'm sure it's on every lift, but for those who aren't familiar with that kind of stuff, I do like that kind of stuff. Keep it safe. So anyways, let's get into finish installing this. Now that we got the columns installed, it's time to do the next part. I've got to go from gotta get the cables and the hydraulic lines put in place, and then I'll do some wiring. I got to put the big, the hydraulic system. It's going to mount here on the side, and then I got to wire it up. I got to get that switch or that plug put together up there. But other than that, this thing is pretty solid. We are in place. With these columns located where they are, I was limited by the seams in my concrete, and even things like the fan blade, it comes really, really close. Within an inch or two of touching that. And I didn't want to move the fan, and I needed this to be where it is. I also have the rails for the garage door back there that are kind of dictating a lot of the stuff. And So, and then also with the size of the vehicles and I mean, I was limited. I got this bench over here, so I've been able to get through here if you need to. I didn't want to go any closer that way, but then I was limited because you can't have the base of that too close to the seams. And so anyways, this is kind of where we ended up, and this is more or less what it's going to look like. And it's a little bit of a compromise to get where I need to be to make everything fit, but that's all right. Cool, so now let's get the next stuff installed, and then we'll go from there. And just like that, we're all done. I got everything wired up and finished over here. This is all done. I got it up there and plugged in, and the outlet up there. We got the cables in place. Everything's all done. The hydraulic, there's a lot of spots over here because I had a leak in that bottom fitting, and I took the thing off 4 times, and all the fluid that I lost during all that, and then I had to do the same thing on this side. I got to tell them there just to see if anything leaked. It's been several minutes and there's no drops. That's awesome. I think we're doing good. But that one, gosh, you shouldn't have to put Teflon tape on a tapered fitting. And on the 4th try, I put some Teflon tape on there, and we got her sealed up, and it's good to go. With all those fittings now, they don't say anything. Those instructions are horrible. They don't really tell you how to do anything. There's a lot of assumptions that you know what you're doing, and probably if you have a lift, you probably do know what you're doing. But I think for this, I wish the instructions were a little more clear on what was required. But anyways, we got her done. Let's see here. So if we push the button on here, yeah. Cool. So, and then, yeah, so with this type of arm in here, one reason why I chose this, in case those of you guys are wondering, if you've got a vehicle that has a short wheelbase, if you had, let's say this arm was straight, just like the back one, if these pucks were too far out to fit underneath the car or the truck, whatever you have, you'd have to roll it back and then slide one set of arms in, then roll it forward, slide. I mean, it would just be a hassle. But with these shorter arms, you can fold it in like this, and then just swing them both out at the same time into your pickup points. And so that's one of the reasons why I chose that. I didn't get the kind that are angled, like inward. That kind, it would have been better so you don't bang your door on the sides here. I mean, even though we have these rubber parts, if they were angled a little bit, you could open the door a little more. That might be good, but for the budget that I was in, this is what I could afford. Those ones that are more expensive, and I didn't think I was gonna need it that much to spend the money. So other than that, here we are. This is the lift, and we are ready to rock and roll. The first project is going to be this guy. We got to cut the bed down on this thing. Go from a long bed to a short bed. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, this is less of a how-to video. For the videos that are out there aren't that great on what to do. The problems I ran into were not the problems that the videos that I watched them had. They didn't cover that stuff. So I imagine there's different levels of expertise and what you have and what you can do. I had some help putting stuff together. I had my father-in-law come over and help me with the electrical part. It's not complicated, but I just don't want to miss anything on that. And we were able to get it dialed in, and it works, right? That's the important part. It worked on the first try, so that's important. But the instructions, like I mentioned before, they're poor. They don't cover very much. I printed off, there's 37 pages. And in all those pages, there's so many steps that are not called out in here. I'm not talking about like the hydraulic fitting thing, although it just says to hook up the hydraulics. It doesn't say, hey, heads up, you might need some Teflon tape, or you may not. I mean, now I'm just whining. But I think for some of you guys, if you're watching this because you're gonna put one of these in, I wish I was more help for you, but the problems that came along, I didn't realize there were problems after I was already into it, and I didn't have the camera rolling or whatever, so that's probably not helpful for some of you guys. This is more of this for the people that have been watching my channel and following along, and kind of excited to have this lift so I can get some more projects done and get some stuff that I wasn't able to do where I'm always crawling on the floor or whatever. So anyways, cool. All right, guys, well, yay. we got a lift, and we gotta get going. We got projects to do. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.